Here we are.
Let's talk about what's going on in the world.
Boy. I'm overwhelmed. Are you overwhelmed?
I am so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Actually,
a lot happening.
It reminds me actually of a couple springs ago when we first got together, and I was saying time after time, things just kept piling on.
Oh, when we were working together on Music
Man.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, yes. You were in total overwhelm.
And I was completely overwhelmed.
That's right. Yes, you were the costume designer and sitting back there trying to costume for how many? 30, 35 people? Something crazy.
29, I think. But then I was losing my apartment, and
so
my
much
kid
was
was going through
for you.
stuff,
Yeah,
and it was just where to start. But
Wave.
but yeah, these are overwhelming times, I would have to say.
Well, I'm sure they are for everybody.
Yeah.
We all know as we're recording this, we're kind of in the first big wave of the coronavirus coming at us and not knowing what's happening. I know we both have kids in school, mine too are in college, yours in high school, and the schools are shutting down.
And she's got spring break at the end of the week, and who's going where, and can you go anywhere?
And can you come back?
Is it wise to go anywhere, and you're not quite sure what you balance out of. I mean, I was supposed to go to a reunion of my husband's band at Duke, and that's been canceled. That's not until April.
It's very scary. My daughter's graduating from Wesleyan this May, and we don't even know if she's going to have a graduation.
So
it's anyway, that's our topic, because we might as well address what's happening for all of us.
Well, and how being overwhelmed, our natural reaction to it really is just to cover yourself in, and not get anything done.
That's right. To the paralysis. Lots of P words happening again. Everywhere I go. No, yes. The panic leads to all sorts of worry, which leads to what I call dirty pain, which is where you're creating stories about what might happen, or as Brene Brown says, dress rehearsing for disaster, which is just one of my favorite terms ever. You wake up and you immediately start dress rehearsing for the disaster, and you end up not being able to take care of anything, and then just leading to a terrible contraction and feeling overwhelmed.
Right.
So I have an exercise that I do absolutely every single morning, and I've done it for the last 2 years, and obviously it helps me because I continue to do it. It is now just part of my DNA, and it's called the placemat process. And for I'll explain that.
Please do.
But it's helpful.
It's another P word, by the way.
Oh my gosh, it is. All right. How can I do? I'm going to say a sentence that does not have a P in it. I'm not going to pop those P's for you.
Good luck.
Oh, dear me. So we have to have a little bit of lightness to our day these days. But anyway, this comes from the teachings of Esther and Jerry Hicks, or actually the teachings of Abraham. It's Abraham Hicks it's referred to. You should go Google this and listen to these recordings. Now this is very woo-woo. Okay,
this sounds quite woo-woo,
This
Liz.
is, yes, because Abraham is a non-physical entity that's channeled through this lovely woman named Esther Hicks.
You don't get much more woo-woo than that.
But it's practical woo-woo, because I'm telling you, this is some of the most practical advice I have ever
and this
received.
is what I like about it.
Yeah. And there's this wonderful book called Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks. And lots of wonderful processes and exercises. But this particular one, really seriously, folks, for any of you who are list makers, this is going to be your best friend, because I make lists, lists all the time, and I've got a to-do list like crazy. So I
wouldn't get things done without a list.
but I'm going to explain this, and then I will let you in on how this pertains to overwhelm and worry and all of that nonsense that's happening. So this is an exercise that she received in a restaurant when she was on Overwhelm, and she had way too much to do, and it is information she received through this teachings of Abraham about how to handle it. And it happened to be she had a placemat in front of her, and so that's why it's called the placemat process. And the idea is, imagine that you have your master to-do list. Okay, this is the stuff that you need to get done, and today, this week, next week, this month, this year, etc., etc. I mean, it's those programs that are running in the back of your computer constantly. Like I wake up every single morning, and I'm like, what am I going to do about my daughter's graduation? Which is in May, and we're not recording this in May. and I don't even, we're doing week to week, we don't know what's going to happen. Will the school even be open, etc. So all these things I can't control, but it's still on my to-do list because I've been looking forward to this for 4 years, right? So
it's the heart of the bit.
So what you do is you take a piece of paper and you draw a line down the center, and on the left-hand side, you entitle it "Things I Intend to Do Today." Okay, and on the right-hand side, things for the universe to do. I just say universe. To do, you can do today, you just get started on. And the idea is that the universe, this is predicated on the idea that we're co-creating with a higher power, all right? So whatever you want to call that, Mother Nature, love, source, I'm calling it the universe. I like thinking the universe is my partner in crime here. So here's how it can play out. Okay. In the beginning, I just did this because it was assigned to me when I was going through my training. I was like, okay, I'll do this, and then it started taking off in a way that the woo always happens for me. But I believe in this stuff, and then when I believe in it, it starts to you find the evidence supports it.
Makes you believe it all the more.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, I'm doing this. This is like Christmas list for me every morning. So what you do is you only put the things on the left-hand side out of your list. For instance, my daughter's graduation. So, okay, today I'm actually going to pay the bill for her cap and gown. That is something I'm physically going to do today.
That's on your left-hand side of the list.
And that's the left-hand side. That's on my list. And I only put things that I will actually do. I mean, I am meeting Kalista at the treehouse, and we're going to record at 11:30.
Yay,
okay?
that's what we're doing now.
And we're doing it. And and I have to go to the dry cleaners, and I put very practical things, but things I know I'm going to do. Everything else on the right is all the stuff that I have to get taken care of, but I'm not going to do it today. And it's amazing. Like, for instance, Bella's graduation. I'm paying for the cap and gown today, but I hand over the actual graduation to the universe. Like, you start figuring out the location, the logistics, the tickets, whether it's going to happen, where it's going to happen. Maybe it's going to happen online. Who knows? But I can't do any of that. And
outside of your control.
Just totally outside of my control. And I hand it over to the universe, and I let it go. And what happens is there's this shift where I now have the space and the energy to actually take care of the things that I'm going to take care of today that I can control, right? So then it starts getting broader and bigger. Oh, well, I'm going to give you my example of when this happened, and I had the first evidence that, oh, wait a second, this actually is working. Because sometimes what happens is this universe starts taking care of its list before, on the right hand side, before you can take care of the stuff on the left.
It is the universe after all.
It is. Okay. So here's an example of how this played out. This is when my father-in-law, before he passed away, which was this all past fall. But last summer, he was going to come live with us, and I had to clear out the extra room that was upstairs in our house of furniture, and I had to just have it completely
Make
cleared
space
out.
for him.
Make space for him and his belongings. And I couldn't do it by myself, but I knew I had to get it done, and I had like this 2-week frame, and I was like, how am I going to do this? I'm overwhelmed. So that particular day, I remember, I was like, well, I'm not going to do anything about it today. I'm just going to give it to the universe. You start figuring this out. Line this up for me, because I got to go attend to other stuff. And I let it go. And that afternoon, my husband, who's a builder, contractor, showed up with his entire crew because it was raining that day and they were working on a roof and they couldn't work outside. But he had them for the day, and he's like, he just showed up without announcing and sent them all upstairs. They cleared out the entire house, the entire room, and my job was just like, oh my gosh, okay. Universe, you just did that for you.
And you hadn't even finished your left-hand side list.
So anyways, that was the beginning where I went, wait, maybe there's something to this. So now I ask for things like a Christmas list. And I always start out with protection. I was like, protect my family. First thing on the list, on the right-hand side, every single day. So like, for instance, the coronavirus. This is why I'm bringing this up.
Right.
This is an exercise that's actually helping me deal with taking the worry and taking away the dirty pain of the worry, the paralysis of the worry. Because what can I do? Okay, on my list, on my left hand, I can wash my hands, constantly. I can, what else can I do? Like
avoid crowded places.
Yeah, make judgments based on what I can control and where I need to go. Do I have to go into New York City in a crowded subway today? I don't have to, so maybe decide not to.
Keep a healthy immune system.
Well, what happens is when I hand over what's going to happen with the coronavirus to the universe and say, you just work on the protection and work on all the logistics with that. I know that's a weird word to use for it, but this is how I'm handling this practically. It eliminates the worry. I really do hand over the worry and those concerns to the universe, and it is helping to boost my immune system because the worrying just brings it down.
You, yeah.
So in a way, I actually am helping and aiding the betterment of my community by just with this thought management exercise of handing things over to the universe like that. I really believe I'm doing my part.
Yeah.
There's my woo-woo part.
Yeah.
But it's practical woo-woo.
I also have to say that in a more cynical sidekick way, that there's also something very practical about giving something over which you have no control, and putting it to the side, even if you will. Mm-hmm. Therefore, allowing you to do the things that you instead of just going, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed, and just staying in bed and watching the news. Like, I'm just going to stay in bed.
Which keeps you overwhelmed.
Which keeps you overwhelmed, but also, therefore, nothing is getting done.
Right.
Not only the things that you can't control, but the things that you can control, like cooking dinner for your family, or making a phone call to a friend, or any of these things that you could do when you feel overwhelmed. You can't do them, and so this way, in a, as I say, a kind of slightly more grounded way, that it really kind of it allows you to get a start if you can almost take something off your plate.
Absolutely.
So that you can
it
go,
is taking it off the plate.
Well, and especially in this very lovely way, if it's something you can't control, that then how great is that, well, I can't control that anyway. So let me just stick to the stuff that I can do.
Right.
And to help to unoverwhelm you, that's not a word. But feel less overwhelmed. Less overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm the one that takes it to
Yeah. No,
a
absolutely.
Christmas list every single morning, because then it's not only the things that are actually on my to-do list,
I'm
but
putting
then I'm
my
asking
on
for
that right hand
but
side,
you
baby.
can.
Oh
And
yeah.
I put sums of money down. Sometimes I'm like $500. Universe, I want you to work on just finding $500 for me. I need to pay a particular
Not greedy.
bill.
Not greedy.
But I did that once. One day I did it. I laughed so hard. Universe has a really good sense of humor, and I had that amount, and Bobby came in and he put $500 on my desk, but it was to pay something else. He wanted me to go to the bank and pay something else for me, but $500 showed up in my office within the hour.
It's like my although I'm not a stand-up comedian, my stand-up comedy joke about when I was younger and I asked God to make Harrison Ford fall in love with Kalista, that I didn't realize I had to be more specific. So you need to do $500 for that particular bill.
Yes, you have to be specific.
Yeah. It's all in the
It's
details.
very important. It's Harrison Ford falling in love with Calista. I'm not letting that one go yet. I have to sit with that one for a while. That's a good one.
Well, I like my little stage
See,
patter.
you have your stories as well, your little secrets. So anyway, I highly recommend checking this out, and just the whole idea of handing over what you can't control to the universe, higher power, something that having faith. See, now I've done it so often, and that I expect it to work out.
Yeah.
And that is the expectation is something that is a signal that I send out to the universe, and that allows me to have it. Because I don't put it over to the right hand side going, oh, this is never going to happen. I put it over going, oh, you're going to figure it out. I can't wait to figure it out.
Get to work on that, would you?
Yeah, and I can't wait to see how you go about doing that. Sometimes I just put things like a blue feather. I just want to see what happens, because that's the part of the creative part of me that wants to take it and make and have fun with this and expand it. So I enjoy it very much, but it does help. I can't start my day unless I've clarified my lists and I've given the universe its job. I'll do my job, and I feel like I'm being very productive when I do this.
Yeah. Well, it's also interesting about in the ways that even if the universe doesn't, let's say, achieve your goal in the way you thought, that maybe there's another reason for it.
Right.
So that there's part of that too of well, you weren't ready for that blue feather just yet. Or...
But I feel like I'm being active, and I'm it's the difference between worry versus concern. I can be actively concerned about what's happening in my community and take action with a clear, centered. I can make judgments, on what I should be doing, as opposed to passing judgments on myself.
Right. Well, and I think during these times like this, uncertain times, certainly physically with health issues, that people do want to try and find some sort of control, which is, why antibiotics, say, get overprescribed or whatever, but also in a way that I've seen and had a friend who just came back from the airport who was saying people are wearing masks but without covering their nose, just over their mouths, which is also not helpful. And she was saying, why do people keep doing that? We've been told that the masks they're for the sick, not for the germs coming in. And I said, I think it's because people want to feel some sort of something. That they want to have something that they're like, I tangibly did this, because we're not being told anything particularly else, as you say. What can we do to keep ourselves and our community and our families safe? And and there's
the difference between going and getting your supplies that you need versus hoarding. Right.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. The toilet paper
Right. Well, and it's
catastrophe.
also, it's a time when craziness and panic takes over for normally rational people are, grabbing at anything. But yes, and I'd heard that because I couldn't understand why toilet paper in America. I didn't understand that one. We didn't. I don't know. It just didn't seem like, Purell. I understand.
Right.
Clorox
Food.
wipes, baby wipes, and or food if you think you're gonna be quarantined,
Right.
and but I just read this morning a piece saying that it started in Japan because the Japanese actually get a lot of their paper products from China, so that they would literally not be
right.
imported. So that makes sense of why they all
They
freaked out
Truly
and
need
went,
to
"Oh my gosh,
stock up."
there's not going to be any more toilet paper coming to our country. We should grab as much toilet paper as we can." So Americans are just like, okay, maybe toilet paper is good for the coronavirus. Let's do that one. Let's do that. Which is unfortunately a lot of what goes on is misinformation and panic, and it, which I think adds to people feeling overwhelmed because you don't know what to believe, you don't know what to trust, you don't know, and being told different things from different people in power, let's say, people in positions of power, and it's worrisome time, but let's see if we can have the universe help us out.
Well, I'm a big believer in it.
I know,
and it's been very helpful. And I'm telling you, I don't do my day. If I have not done this, I'm off all day. There's something in me. It's like I have my batteries drained because I have too many programs running. I have too many things that I'm still thinking about, that I'm still trying to control because I hadn't gotten it over yet. Here's your list. You're doing it. It's like it's just a lovely way of creating space.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's like I say, allowing yourself to have the space to do the things you can do.
Right.
And I think that's a really wonderful lesson for us all.
Then we can at least be a little more centered in the middle of this storm. That's all around us.
And if it gets everybody to start washing their hands when they should have been already washing their hands.
I know, we're all teaching.
That's what comes out of it. I'm happy.
Learned in kindergarten.
Oh, let me tell you, I was a preschool teacher for many years, and singing happy birthday while you washed your hands after going to the potty was a big one. And because it was a song they knew, or their ABCs.
I saw a great post. I think it was from one of my Guiding Light cohorts, Mandy Bruno. She had this, shout out to Mandy. She had a post about all the different songs that from Broadway shows that last 20 seconds.
I've been entertaining myself with different ones. It's true. It's true.
I love it.
But,
I love it.
Yeah.
Jazz hands.
Yeah. So take care of yourself, everybody.
Yeah.
Take care of your heart and your head.
Yeah, and allow yourself to be taken care of as well. Allow yourself to be protected and supported by the universe and your higher self, the future self. Sometimes it's your future. Sometimes I think of it as, this is my future self helping me out, and I always got that from my son, who and he's brilliant. I mean, he handles everything beautifully. But I remember in high school when he'd have things due, and we'd say, "Well, aren't you going to be working on that?" And he said, "That's future Kiefer's problem."
Yes, exactly.
And
that's a problem
that.
for future Kalista. I say that.
It's great. But there's
Homer Simpson.
There's something wonderful to that.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to. It's not something that you can do anything about today. So allow your future self to start taking care of the details.
There you go.
Lining it up.
Instead of the universe, your future self.
Yeah, I know.
I like it. Well, here's hoping that you all stay safe and healthy.
Yeah.
And that you feel better if you're not
Feel better.
If you're feeling overwhelmed like so many of us. I hope this can help you to feel a little better.
Yeah, I'm glad that we were able to reach out and communicate at a social distance. Right.
Exactly. Don't touch us. Thanks so much.
Thank you for your time.
Let's all feel better.
As always, you can find us at letsallfeelbetter.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Let's All Feel Better.
And watch us on our YouTube channel. You guessed it, Let's All Feel Better.